Hello, everyone.
Hi, thanks for taking the time
Hello.
today.
Hello.
First, let me start by saying I apologize for this morning. We seem to have some technological issues. This Zoom never seems to go well when we need it to.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time and being flexible to meet with us this afternoon. So my name is Tiffany Esposito. I am the president and CEO of the Bonita Springs Area Chamber of Commerce, and this is the Southwest Florida Alliance of Chambers. We'll go around and introduce ourselves before we get started, but a little bit about the group. So the Alliance of Chambers represents 8 chambers of commerce in Lee and Collier County, and we represent 6,000 businesses and about 300,000 residents and constituents. And we were formed in 2018. And I'll let everybody introduce themselves, and then we have a few questions for you. So we'll go Donna, Jenna, Colleen, Chris, John, Michael.
Great. Nice to meet everyone.
Hi, thank you for being with us today. My name is Donna Germain. I'm the president and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce of Cape Coral.
Nice to meet you, Donna.
I'm Jenna Pizzacco Forrester. I'm the Director of Government Relations at the Greater Naples Chamber.
Great.
Hi, welcome. I'm Colleen DePasquale, Greater Fort Myers Chamber of Commerce.
Hello. My name is Christopher Lopez. I'm representing the Chamber of Southwest Florida. Thanks for being here.
Christopher.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us today. My name is John Lai. I'm the president and CEO of the Santa Mela Captiva Chamber of Commerce.
Meet you.
I'm Michael Dalby. I'm the president and CEO of the Greater Naples Chamber.
Nice to meet you, Michael.
And we also have Jackie on the phone with us. Jackie, are you still there?
Yeah, I sure am. This is
Hi,
Jackie.
Jackie.
I'm the president. Hey, how are you doing?
Doing well,
I'm the
thanks.
executive director, Fort Myers Beach Chamber of Commerce. Apologize, I'm driving, so I won't be on visual yet.
So we're so happy that you can take the time to join us today. We're going to kick off a few questions. If you can just tell us about yourself, that'd be great.
Sure. Yeah. So my background in the business world, I've been an entrepreneur for 25 years. We have a very vast portfolio of quick service restaurants. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Of quick service restaurants. We're franchisors of throughout the country. We have hundreds of franchisees in the pizza sector. I'm also one of the largest franchisees in the entire Dunkin' brand. We've had one of the largest acquisitions in Dunkin' history. Yeah, something came up right here. I'm also one of the largest franchisees in the Church's Chicken brand. And then we have a food distribution company, so we provide all the proprietary products to all of our franchisees. We're also in the commercial real estate space and development. We have approximately 2.5 to 3 million square feet of commercial real estate, everything from large office product to small inline retail, medical, light industrial. We own and manage all of our assets. And I've been in and out of petroleum since 1999. We had a large Midwestern portfolio at one point. At one point, we had a very large distribution portfolio throughout the state of Florida. We had one of the largest transport fleets throughout the state, bulk plants in Naples, Orlando, and Tampa. So our background is strong in distribution, supply chain, logistics. On a educational level and on a personal level, I grew up in Michigan, came down to Florida almost 18 years ago to Southwest Florida. I sat on the board with Tom Monahan and Legatus, which is Catholic presidents and CEOs. And I came down for Ave Maria, fell in love with it, decided this is where I want to move and raise my family. So we've been here since. Grew up in a small town, so a lot of hard work ethic. Really built my way through. Joined the Marines as a young man. Started a family at a fairly young age. I'm a proud father of 6 children that all attended and went through Community School of Naples. And today, where I'm at today, is I'm at a point in my career where I've been involved in politics from the outside. I know Francis Rooney. I'm very close friends with Senator Rick Scott, and I've been involved from the outside. But seeing that Rooney was not running again after some of the issues that took place, I decided that it's a call of duty for me to serve again. This is a place that I think is very special, very unique. I've traveled all over the world, and I chose South because it gave me a small, a beautiful area, kind of a big town, but with a small town feel. And I felt that this is where I want to raise my children. And so the local issues are important to me, from business, from commerce, the water, our water issues that we have and that I've been experiencing since I've been here, and watching it continue to get worse. So spent some good amount of time with the Everglades folks, Captains for Clean Water, with Chauncey Goss, with Francis Rooney on water issues going back a ways. And so it's important to me, and I've watched my kids grow up here, and all of my older children want to come back and raise their families here one day. So this is an important issue, I think, for all of us. And so in Congress, this is an issue that I plan on fighting for very aggressively. It's within my wheelhouse, from being able to be effective, getting federal funding. Both sides of the aisle involved in this, because for the issue, and the folks that we have here are very passionate. I've been watching the momentum grow with Francis Rooney, with Governor DeSantis, and we need to continue that fight. I've told all the guys that I've been talking to that I'm an individual that is a disruptor. I'm a fighter. I don't buckle. I always go against the grain. And so if I provide you the funding, which I will hold people accountable, make sure that these projects are getting done. I've just looked at the track record, and we've had some good success lately, but we've got 68 projects that are open-ended we can't just have open-ended projects that's time, that's money. It doesn't work for me in my world. So as far as, my business acumen, one thing that I do engage in is strong communication. I always communicate, I follow through, I hold accountability, and I execute. So with business folks like yourselves, I think we'll definitely speak the same language. One major committee that I need to sit on immediately, which I've been doing my due diligence on and laying that path should we get to Congress, is TNI, Transportation Infrastructure, because we have the largest influx of people moving in, I think, out of any state in the union. And so our infrastructure has to be able to uphold that. So, in my business, it's called CapEx, capital expenditures. We always have to invest in our business and our infrastructure. So I think that's something that's detrimental, that we need folks that understand logistics, transportation, and have the infrastructure to be able to sustain all this. And I've talked with scientists from FGCU and abroad. And I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of relationships that have really educated me in this. I'm also a YPR, which is Young Presidents Organization, so I have access to a lot of environmentalists, scientists, and so and it always goes back to the same issue, is population growth. And I know we all want growth, but we also want smart growth. And so we can take as many stop measures that we want, but if we're not preparing for the growth that's coming in, that's continued to come in. I think up now after COVID-19 with people wanting to come down here. I don't blame them. That's why we're all here. So this is a big important issue for me because economy is my thing, and water and infrastructure goes hand in hand with that.
Thank you. So you mentioned this a little bit. If you want to elaborate, our next question is, what prompted you to run for office?
Yeah, so I think I touched up on that. As a young man, I joined the Marines. I felt the call of duty. I'm at a point in my life where I looked at the field, and I spoke to some colleagues and some folks in politics and in business, hopefully, that I know and respect and trust. And so, long conversation with now Senator Rick Scott. So I sat down with my family, with my wife. My wife was not on board. She said, I think you've got to be out of your mind right now to do this in this political world. So I kind of pushed it off. And I'm going back to last summer, actually. And then, the issues started coming back up. The issues that we all care about that we're discussing right now. So I sat down with my wife again. Ann Scott, Rick Scott's wife, sat down with her and I think really helped coach her. And so she was committed, and I explained to her that although I have the utmost respect for our politicians and what they do, but since I've been here for almost 18 years, I've watched so many congressmen come and go. And turnover doesn't work in anything. It doesn't work for me and my company. It doesn't work in politics and anything. So if I do this, I'm in it for the long haul. I don't want to be a career politician by any means, but I need to be there until the job gets done, until I feel that I've brought all the added value and can bring no longer any added value to the equation. And at that point, hopefully we can get the next most capable man or woman for the job. And so again, the main reason is watching the direction that national security is very important to me. One committee that I will sit on is foreign affairs because of my background, along with TNI, along with energy. Those are all committees that I understand and touch. I've been in the energy space for a very long time. And again, it's a call of duty. I'm in a position where I've been very fortunate, very blessed, done very well. I have the moral compass that I think is needed up in Congress. The culture is so deep-rooted there, and we see so many good men and women go there, and the culture changes them. That's just not who I am. I'm a disruptor. I'm a fighter. I always change the culture, just like President Trump does. And so that's my objective, and that's what I'm here to do.
Thank you. Again, you touched on this quite a bit, but if you'd like to elaborate, what makes you qualified to represent the business community?
Well, I think that's probably one of my strongest points is the business side. I've been in business for 25 years. I've been in the franchise world for a very long time as a franchisee of multinational brands, as a franchisor of national brands. So as a franchisor, we're on top of the food chain. I've been in petroleum, from marketing, jobbership, transportation, logistics, the bulk plants, which are mini terminals. And then as far as commercial real estate, we have national tenants. We have small tenants. I know small business. I started in small business. I know big business. I deal with big business. I deal with a lot of executives at the CEO level of major companies, Fortune 500 companies. I've always been very entrenched in the business community. I went off and attended Harvard Business School. So it's moral compass, it's pay grade, and you've got to have the principles, but you also have to have the ability. And so business is my strong suit.
Thank you. In your opinion, what's the most pressing issue facing the Southwest Florida business community? And if elected, what would you do to address this issue?
The most challenge today with small business in Southwest Florida, I think, is retooling after COVID-19. if we're talking about with, current events, the here and now, COVID-19 is going to decimate many small businesses, which leads to employment. That's the largest employment sector in the country. And so I know a bit about that. I may be at a large scale business individual, but I'm a franchisor of small business franchisees throughout the country. I employ thousands of men and women nationwide today. I've created tens of thousands of jobs. I've created millions and millions of dollars of revenue for our economy over the years. So I'm very experienced in this sector. There are a lot of things that we can do to incentivize small business, get government out of the way in so many different ways, get things at the state level, at the local community level. We need to retool our economy from a big picture. There's a lot of trade deal opportunities that we need to continue to fight and change. We need to incentivize big business to come back to the United States and start producing here, because we not only need more jobs, we need better jobs. Those are all things that we can do. We just have to have people in Congress that understand negotiation strategy, how to create a strong BATNA, which is a win-win situation. Those are all things that we can do that will trickle down to the smaller local economies. But the local economy here, I think that there's a lot of opportunity that we can bring here. But our transportation and infrastructure and our water issue is vital to this, because it all goes hand in hand.
Great. So as you know, Southwest Florida's economy is heavily dependent on the leisure and hospitality sectors. So if elected, what would you do to encourage economic diversification in the region?
Yeah, so tourism is great, and we want that. Again, I think that there's so much opportunity. I mean, I've been spending time right now out in the field just meeting small local businesses, boat manufacturers. There's so much opportunity that we can bring here in light manufacturing to mid-sized manufacturing that no one's really taking advantage of. It's going to take a business individual that understands this to be able to really do this. We're going to hear a lot of sound bites, a lot of good talking points, but there has to be experience, there has to be substance behind it. How do you actually do it? How do you actually execute? So I think that manufacturing is key. Bringing good jobs down here is key. We do want to continue our hospitality business and restaurant business, but I think I don't put all my eggs in one basket. I have a very diverse portfolio. We have to have that as an economy. We can't just count on one sector. I watched that happen, by the way, in Michigan. So, I'm formerly a Michigan guy. And I watched the auto industry, what we called the big three at the time, get decimated. All the tool and die shops closing shop, everything going overseas, bad trade deals like NAFTA. We were lied to. We were told that it would create 1 million new jobs. We lost 1 million jobs just like that. So it's politicians doing business, elite politicians doing business with elite economists, and it only benefits the elites. It doesn't benefit the American family. And we've watched this take place. And there's a lot of things that we can do as long as we're concentrating on us, on the United States, on our state, on our local economy, and we can get a lot of things done.
Thank you. So the Southwest Florida Alliance of Chambers was formed in the wake of the 2018 water crisis, and we have made water quality our #1 priority, and it remains our #1 priority. So if elected, what specific projects would you advocate for to improve and protect Southwest Florida's water quality?
Yeah, so I think that I know there are approximately 68 projects out there, and I know the Central Everglades project is key. Now that's a very big project. So I asked this question when I sat with the Everglades folks and scientists. Out of all these projects, give me the order of importance. What's the most important? And they told me, I said, the EAA. I said, okay, give me an approximate projection of timeline and cost. So it's a 10-year timeline with a $10 billion cost basis. I said, okay, I can understand that. So I'll go fight for that. I'll go fight for that. But one thing I'm going to say is this. I will deliver. I will get federal funding. I will work hand in hand with our state legislators to make sure that we're getting the appropriate allocation for state funding as well. But when we get those funds to the people here on the ground, we're going to hold people accountable. We've got to make sure that these funds are being utilized effectively, efficiently. We can't have these projects sitting there open-ended. I'd be out of business. My company would be insolvent if I operated the way that these projects are operating. That's the honest truth. So there's going to be accountability. Don't just be happy that the funds are coming. You're going to have to make it work. I want to get business involved. I want to create competition because I'm a major proponent of free markets, and I know that if we can get the free markets involved, we can create competition. We can get the best pricing possible and the best outcome possible. I'll work hand in hand with the Army Corps, but I think there are a lot of things that we can do through the private industry as well, much more efficiently and effectively. And besides the big projects, I think there's a lot of technology that's not as costly that we can do. That's not as timely that we can do. There's a lot of technology that we can champion here in Southwest Florida, that we can be the leader, not only in the country, but for the world, because a lot of the world is experiencing similar type of issues. We can be the pioneer of that. Technology is key. There are a lot of things that we can do, I think that can give us a really strong ROI, not only the large projects.
Great. So just two more questions. What specific actions do you think lawmakers should take to improve and protect Southwest Florida's waterways?
Specific actions, to be honest with you, I'd have to really do my research there and not just give a softball answer. I will never do that. I'm not your seasoned politician. I'm not the guy who's just going to say whatever is the current event, whichever way the wind is blowing. I'd have to look into that and see where I can actually bring the most effective action to. But I think that the biggest thing that I can do, the biggest thing that I do for my entire corporation, for all of my execs on down, is that I bring opportunity and I bring resources, but then I hold accountability as well. So the biggest thing that I can do is bring attention, bring revenue. So if we look at, I have this conversation all the time. We talk about all these things with the environment. Government's not going to fix it. It's just not. What's going to fix the environment? Business is going to fix it. It's a monetary fix, just like most things are. It's a monetary fix. So if you look at it right now, Harvard Business School, it's pumping out top-level executives that I know. I know the professors very well, and I know the agenda and the direction they're going in. And these top-level executives are coming out, and I'll give you just a hypothetical. They're being offered a job by Boeing, and they're being offered a job by Airbus. And Airbus is paying them $1 million salary, annual salary plus. And Boeing is paying them a $700,000 salary plus. But you know what? Boeing is also planting trees where they're manufacturing. They're also investing in clean water for the communities that they're in. And today, that executive that's coming out of Harvard Business School and all these top schools, they're taking the lesser pay. So the culture is starting to change, because one thing that they're being taught, which is what I believe, you can make a profit, but make it decently. And so I think that I can bring a lot of value and pushing the culture in that way, getting real attention to our issue. This is a serious issue here. We have our economy, our lifeline is connected to our water issues. So it's something that I will definitely attack very aggressively.
Thank you. So just one last question. Is there anything else you'd like us to know about you or your priorities?
I think the important thing to know for me is I'm a political outsider. Like President Trump, I can't be bought. I don't need PAC's money or whatnot. I don't believe that you can serve two masters. So my agenda is to go in, be effective, get things done, and once I feel I can do no more, then I leave. That's just who I am. I have the moral compass. I have the pay grade to actually be effective, and that's why I'm here.
Great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. We are going to be posting these interviews on our website and social media, so you can look for that in order to share on your platform if you so wish. And we wish you luck in the fall.
Thank you.